Hey guys, so I wanted to get on here and share a story about when I was out in Utah and how I had like a ravenous craving for carbs, and also a story that my client actually ran into that same week. And so, you know, because of diets, we tend to not trust ourselves like with carbs. We think that, oh, we can't have bread, we can't have granola, we can't have cereal, we can't have too much fruit or whatever it is, right? And the thing is, when we do that, when we restrict ourselves and we don't listen to when we don't listen to our feelings of like when we really feel like we need carbs, what happens is because we're forbidding it, because we're restricting it, we create sort of this energetic deficit. And every single time there's always going to be a swing back in the other direction, right? Where it's like, okay, if I say that I can't have bread for, that it's not okay to eat bread, that I shouldn't have bread, what that's going to do is it's going to create a swing in the complete opposite direction, and usually to the degree that you actually resist bread. So if you really say no and you really don't allow yourself to do that, it's always going to happen where you're going to swing and basically kind of have not like a binge, but maybe like an overeating episode of where you just kind of go crazy and you feel like you can't get enough of it. And so it's to be like, in order to not fall into that sort of deprivation and overeating pattern, it's really important that you learn how to listen to your feelings. So for example, when I was out in Utah, I was doing a bunch of I was pretty active with my dad, and we were doing making concrete, building this concrete wall. And I was also working out in the morning, going to the gym. So I was more active than I usually am. And my stepmom, she was buying like a ton of bread because they eat a lot of bread. And I just noticed myself really wanting bread, like really craving it. And I had more bread the last 2 weeks than I've had probably all year. And I just allowed myself to have it because I know from experience that when I tell myself I can't have it, and it's like a real physical craving because I have been more active. Like I can feel that it's a physical craving. It's not just like an emotional craving where I'm just trying to feel good. Then, if I allow myself to I allow myself to trust myself, there's not going to be that huge swing. But so often, from my past, I know that, from my experience, I would try to resist certain foods, and as a result of trying to resist it, I would go out of control. So it really is it's a skill to learn how to listen and feel your body and understand what's a physical craving and what's an emotional craving, right? Am I feeling sad or stressed or just kind of unfulfilled or bored? And if you notice yourself going for certain foods when you feel that way, that's just an emotional craving. That's just you trying to feel good and, trying to nourish yourself through food. And it's not going to be a lasting effect. So you'll just find that you want more and more and more. And maybe you start buying things or, eating things or, doing things for others to make yourself feel good. And this is why it's so important to learn how to take care of yourself and give yourself what you actually need. Like maybe, do I actually need some stillness? Do I need to laugh? Do I need to play? Do I need a nap? Do I need to go work out? Like asking yourself, what do I need on, just kind of to nourish myself on an energetic level so that I never get to that point of reaching for food. So it's being mindful of, when you're craving carbs, is it a physical craving? Or is it an emotional craving? And when it's a physical craving because you're active, or you can just tell you're like I said, you're emotionally fulfilled, like you feel great, but you're still craving carbs, allow yourself to go for those carbs. Because if you don't, your body's very, very smart. It's very intelligent. It knows it's going to try to eat back what you're trying to resist. You won't get ahead. And so this is why diets don't work, because the body, you can't, the body keeps score. You can't force it to eat less. It's going to create there's an energetic deficit that's going to swing you in the opposite direction and go for all that food, and typically a lot of it, at once. So it's just being mindful. And this is why it's so important to learn how to feel, setting time aside to close your eyes and just be with your body and learn how to, just feel. How am I feeling? What emotions are there? How do I feel physically? What sort of sensations are there? And through that process, it's not fast, but through that process, you're going to learn how to build a sense of trust, and you're going to know where you're at all times. And you're going to know when you're reaching for food just for emotional support, as opposed to, like physical well-being, and, the more that you can dial that in, the more that you can understand yourself and master yourself, the more you're going to be able to master yourself around food, the more you're going to be able to master yourself, energetically. So around workouts and like being a guardian of your energy, not doing too much for others, making sure that you're putting yourself first, so that you always stay full and fulfilled on the inside, so that you always feel energetically nourished, as opposed to energetically drained, whether that be deprived from food, or, trying to overwork yourself, or trying to do too much for others. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, because I know for me, like, I used to have so many rules around carbs. Like, I couldn't eat fruit, I couldn't eat cereal, I couldn't eat oats, I couldn't eat bread. Like, I had all this fear around it, and that fear is exactly the reason why I couldn't control myself around it. So I wouldn't even bring it into the house, I wouldn't buy it, and that doesn't solve the problem. Like, if you want to master yourself around food and feel fully empowered, you have to learn how to create, understand yourself and create peace with food. So just wanted to share that. Not sure if that helps. I'd love to, help you guys out. If there's something that you're struggling with, don't feel shy to reach out. And and this is something that I'm going to be teaching you guys through the Naturally Fit Retreat, is mindful eating and learning how to trust yourself. When am I hungry? When am I full? What is my body craving? And learning how to eat without a meal plan, without a whole set of rules and structures on how you should eat and when you should eat it, and blah, 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 blah. Because that is not going to, it's not going to be very enjoyable. You can certainly lose weight for a short amount of time, but it's not going to be very fun. It's not going to probably last very long. And I believe that, everybody really truly wants to eat without counting macros, without weighing food, measuring food. They want to be able to know when, to trust when it's okay to have ice cream, when I'm listening to my feelings, as opposed to just, eating ice cream because of fear, that I'm not going to be able to have it again. So, these are the kind of skills that we'll be developing over the Naturally Fit Retreat, is just learning how to master yourself around food. So if you have any questions around food or anything, just reach out, and sending you much love.